All right, I think we're good. So the meeting should be being recorded now. So you hopefully understand that by being here, anything you say will be included in the recording, and you're giving your permission for that to happen. The recording will be shared later for anybody that wants to access this later. I know there were a couple of people that couldn't actually be here right now that did want to participate. So so at the bottom of your screen, you should be able to see where you can turn your volume. I think it says mute on the bottom left. That's your volume controls. And then also on the bottom left is your video control. So if you don't want your video on at any point, you can turn that off. And also in the bottom in the middle is the chat. So if your chat screen didn't automatically pop up on the right, then you can hit the chat button and you can communicate with the rest of the group that way. Because in a minute here, I'm going to mute everybody so that we don't have any background noise and whatnot in the recording. But if you want to add anything to the chat, you're welcome to. If you have any questions as we're going along, you can pop them there and I will keep an eye on that. And so we can answer any questions as they're coming up or at the end. And I think that's about it. So thank you guys for being here. I hope that you guys find this time worthwhile and you get something out of it, and that you enjoy. So I'm going to mute everybody now. Maybe. Myself. How do I mute you guys? I know I've done this before. Sorry, I thought I knew how to do this. Heidi, can you say something? Okay, I can't hear you. Okay, so I think we're good. All right, so here we go. All right, so today, the topic for today is connecting with Source. I've had a couple people ask me how it is that I do what I do, what energy work is, how can they feel more connected to the people that are around them, how can they feel more connected to the earth and the planet and just everything that's going on in this world. And so, and also to Source. And so today, that's what I wanted to talk about is how do we connect to Source? How do we connect more with others, especially on a deeper level? I think a lot of us, you know, we have friends and yet we feel like sometimes we're even in a room with them, we're even having a conversation with them, and yet we don't really totally feel connected with them. And what is that and why is that? So that's actually part of why I got into energy work. I am an empath. I feel things really profoundly. And so that's really what I love about energy work is the deep level of empathy that comes through that process of working energetically with other people. So it really helps me to feel connected to other people because I can feel, at least to some degree, what it is they're actually feeling. So it's instead of saying like, oh, I totally get that, like I actually do get that because I'm feeling what you're feeling. Whereas with somebody else, it might feel a little bit more superficial or fake because they're not in your shoes and they can't possibly know. Well, if you're an empath or if you have training in that energy work, you can feel that to a degree. It's not the same as being in your shoes, and I would never try to tell somebody that I know exactly how they're feeling. But there is that level of rawness, some honesty, some truth. There's, you know, a lot more understanding that can come through being able to connect in that way. And it helps us to just feel less alone. So my hope is that by going through this process that I'm going to share with you guys today, that you can begin to feel some of those things that I feel. And through practicing this again and again and again, you can build those skills. So I think you guys know me, but if you don't, my name is Beth. I'm an intuitive energy healer. I'm a love light activator. I'm also a coach and an author. And really what I try to do is I try to use my gifts to teach other women how to open their hearts. I really want to help women open their life to a new way of living, because I think we're struggling to really feel happy and healthy and whole through the standard, you know, mainstream ways of being healthy. And I think that this, through my energy work, I really help to bring in that missing piece and help people connect those dots. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to make sure that we spend as much of the time as possible doing actual healing work. I work mostly with angels and spirit guides, so those are the terms that I'm going to be using throughout this process. If that doesn't resonate with you and you believe in God, or you believe in your intuition or your higher self, or guardian angels, or whatever it is that you believe in, feel free to sub in whatever feels right to you, because this is all about you. So in your own mind, just kind of make those substitutions as I'm going through. All right, so this time I want to set the intention for our time here today that our time and both the recording later is really here to serve and anyone who accesses it. I really want you guys to feel my love for you guys and the love of anybody else that's here in this circle now, as well as that of anybody else who joins later, and also just the divine healing love of any of those angels or spirit guides that join us during this time. The purpose of the session is to support each other, right? I want to support you guys. I want you to support each other. I want this time to be an opportunity for us to connect with one another, so that even after we leave the circle, we know that we're not alone, that we, through this process can learn that there are other people, soul sisters or whatever you want to call them, that are out there that are just like us, that are feeling the same things we're feeling, have the same aims and goals that we do. And I also want to help you guys connect with source. So that's kind of my intention here today. So I'm going to start with a quick prayer. If you guys want, you can close your eyes. Dearest angels, spirits, and guides, please hold us safe from taking on anything else from one another. Help us to connect in a way that supports the best interest of every woman that's here and every woman that joins this circle later. We're each here to support one another, to form a community, and to connect. Help us to understand one another, to know that we're not alone, and to trust that we become stronger when we raise each other up. All right, so the first thing I want to do is, give everybody just a really quick chakra clearing. It's kind of a general reset for everybody, and it helps before we really connect to one another to not share some of our own personal gunk. So real quickly, we're just going to go through. Guides and angels, please connect me to these women. Help me clear them at all levels from anything that's no longer serving them. Clear them from the root, the sacral chakra, their solar plexus, their heart, their throat, their third eye, and their crown. Release anything that's not serving them. Fill them with love, light, divine healing. Help them know that this is a safe space, that they are safe, they are loved. And they're able to receive. You guys can each take a big inhale and a deep exhale. All right. So one of the activities that I really think is helpful when you're trying to connect to source, when you're trying to connect to spirit, is opening your thymus. So the thymus is a gland that's right between your heart chakra and your throat chakra. So it's kind of right here in the middle. Some people can feel there's a little bit easier than others. It kind of feels like, I don't know, maybe a fatty tissue or something like that. It's just like a little lump there. It probably doesn't feel like a solid shape. It kind of feels, and some people can't feel theirs, and that's okay. You still have one. Everybody has one. But it's right there, and it's, for your physical body, it's really part of your immune system, but for the emotional body and for on more of an energetic level. It's the way you connect to your spiritual self, and it's a huge part of your spiritual development. So over time, just the way we tend to live, that really gets squashed and stomped and beaten down, and it kind of recedes and turns into like a little knot, and it's not necessarily working. On a physical level or on an energetic level for us. And so today, what I want to start with for you guys is an opportunity to attempt to begin to open that, to work through some of that hardening that has started to happen over the course of your life, and to open it and allow some release to happen there, so that you are able to develop more from a spiritual sense and receive more. So so hopefully by going through this process, you'll be able to really be able to access your spiritual gifts more, understand your life purpose, trust your path, all of those things more. So if you can, I want you to get seated. If you have shoes on, you might want to kick them off. If you are wearing a belt, you might want to open that up. If your pants are really tight, you might want to undo the button. The idea here is that we want to allow energy to flow. And so anything that's constricting is constricting to that flow of energy. So shoes, belts, tight waistbands, maybe if there's anything really tight on your wrists, anything like that. But otherwise, you just sit with your feet flat on the floor. Close your eyes, take a couple deep breaths. Imagine there is a flower, like a lotus flower or any sort of flower, a rose, anything, just sitting right on that thymus, right on your chest. Imagine that flower growing roots. Those roots wrap around the thymus, encircling it with love and support. As we go through this exercise, you might feel things, you might see things, you might see colors. All of that's normal. Don't be scared. If you get scared, you can put it in the comments and we'll address it. But it's normal. So feel your thymus connecting with that flower. It's a symbiotic relationship where the thymus is nurturing the flower and the flower is nurturing the thymus. Now imagine that flower is starting to open. As it opens, it expands. With each inhale, it grows stronger. With each exhale, it opens wider. Continues to open and expand with each breath. And when it's fully open, you might see light come out from the center. You might not, that's okay too. Mine looks like little twinkling sparkles. Take note of what your flower looks like, how it feels, how it makes you feel. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. You guys feeling okay? Good? Okay. Good. All right, so that's the first process. You guys can do that again and again with either with the recording, anytime that you're feeling contracted or you're feeling disconnected from the world or from source or your path. You can always do that. You can do it a couple of times a day, whether you're feeling the need to or not. Um, but it's a really nice process to help you feel a little bit more open without actually opening the heart. So opening the heart is something that a lot of people also need to do, but it's a much more vulnerable place to be. So I find that when I open my heart, I actually get more anxious. I get more scared because I feel so vulnerable. Um, and so, well, I need to work on that as well. And you guys probably do too. The thymus it just feels safer, at least for me. And so that's a good practice that you can try. Thank you. Heidi says so brilliant. So thank you, Heidi. I hope you enjoyed it. It sounds like you did. The next process I want to lead you guys through. I've got two more, so hopefully we have enough time to squeeze them both in without rushing. And again, we're going to close our eyes, feet grounded, hands either on your legs or maybe crossed or on your belly. Sometimes it feels good to put one on your hand, one on your belly. Either way. Sometimes it helps to hold them out. Usually having your hands out like this is more of a receptive pose, and having your hands down is a more grounded pose, but take whatever pose makes you feel the most comfortable. And imagine for a moment that you're sitting in a bubble. It might be an iridescent bubble like the bubbles that kids blow, might be a bubble of white light. Whatever your bubble looks like is totally okay. The bubble is there to protect you, support you. If you feel comfortable, you can allow the other people that are here in the circle to join you in your circle, in your bubble. And if not, if you want to stay protected and solitary, that's okay too. There's a time for both. So wherever you are right now in this moment, if you feel open to that, you can allow us to join you in your circle, in your bubble. You can open your bubble to any women who decide to join this circle later on through the recording. Through my intention, I know that they will be safe, decent people to have in your circle. They won't bring anything unwanted. They're there to support you, to provide connection, community, sisterhood. And as you're sitting there in your circle, surrounded by those other women that are there to support you, you can connect maybe a band of golden light or white light or whatever feels right, string, anything that feels right, from woman to woman, maybe from thymus to thymus, heart to heart, third eye to third eye, crown to crown. Whatever flows for you is perfectly fine. As you're sitting there, imagine out of your feet grow roots. They go deep down into the earth. From those roots, energy or light or water, life flows up into your calves, through your knees, up your thighs, through your pelvis and your core, wraps around your heart, through your throat, through your head and out your crown. And as it leaves your crown, it might look like branches and leaves, like the other half of a tree. Might look like lightning, water, ribbons, light, whatever it is for you. Just take that in and appreciate it. And if you can't imagine that light or those branches, string, whatever it happens to be, going from the top of your head up into the heavens, up into the sky, and connecting you to the light and the angels and anything above and beyond that might be supporting you. And then feel that reverse flow as that nurturing warmth and love and light comes down from the sky, down through that cord, into your crown, through your head, through your throat, your heart, your stomach, your pelvis, the legs, out your feet, and back down into the earth. If during that time you lost your bubble, that's okay. You may notice that it's reforming around you now. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. I can see Heidi's typing, so I'll wait. How did I know that you lost your bubble? Well, I don't know. I lost mine, and I just felt it start to reform, and I could see it, mine reform, and so I thought, well, if I lost mine, then I probably wasn't the only one. So, yeah, same timing, perfect, awesome. We're all connected, so that's probably why. All right, so I do have one more. It's pretty quick, but we are at 1 o'clock, so I want to honor your time. If you have somewhere else you need to be and you need to go, we can close. I can see Amy's still here, but I don't know if there's a way for her to connect via chat because I think she's on a phone. So, Amy, if you have to go, you're more than welcome to go. Heidi, it's up to you since I can see you. Do you want to stay? You want to stay? Okay, so we will go through one more. Keep it coming. Bring it on. All right. So the last one, this one is pretty quick. The last one, Amy, thank you for being here. If you do have to go, I understand. Thank you for being here. And hopefully you can stay. So, all right. So the last one, kind of rub your hands together. Rub, 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 rub. You should be able to hear them. They should be getting warm. Again, I like to do this with my feet on the floor, my eyes closed, but you can do it however feels right to you. Just want them really, really warm. And as you pull them away slowly, you might feel like they're still kind of connected. They might be buzzing. They might tingle. They might feel like if you went like this, you could like shoot magic out of your hands, right? So rub, rub, rub. Close your eyes. And ask yourself in your head and your mind and your heart what you really need in this moment. And your body might tell you, I don't know, might tell you all kinds of things. You might feel it in your body. You might feel like your ears are suddenly more open and you can suddenly hear better. You might notice that you have a knot in your stomach. You might feel like your heart is really tight or it's hard to breathe. So get those hands nice and warm. And then you can put your hands wherever you feel that energy already starting to flow. With each breath, you can breathe that in through your hands into your body. With each exhale, you can use that breath to push anything out that needs to be released. And if at any time your hands feel like they're no longer buzzing, they're no longer warm, you can rub them more. There's absolutely no rush, but whenever you're done, you can open your eyes. I heard you say something. I mean, I saw you say something, but I don't know what you said. There we go. I found my mute button. There we go. It's bright. Oh, it's bright. Yes. All right. So I'm going to. All right, Heidi, I just unmuted you, and I don't see a way to unmute Amy. So, Amy, if you want to be unmuted, you can unmute yourself. How are you feeling?
Wow.
Good.
I loved the thalamus piece.
Yeah.
That is such a happy place of medium between on or off. And I've also, my osteopathic doctor is also talking about me opening up from like this flashlight place here. So like I'm getting this message from like multiple people that are not at all connected. So I mean, we all are connected, I suppose. But I like give from my heart and open my heart, and I do that, and then I go to the other extreme or crash and burn or need to eat lots of donuts or bad food to make up for the extra vulnerability that you get when you open your heart. And so that thalamus piece, I've never really thought of it from that perspective, but it's kind of like a halfway heart. And it's between your heart and your throat. So, and it's closer probably to your throat than your heart. But I don't know, it just feels like a really safe place to explore. And when you were doing that meditation, like I couldn't see as much of my flower and all of that. I could not see as much of the flower, but I could feel it. It was like, it was really cool. Thank you. It's
You're welcome.
quite amazing.
Well, good.
Really good.
Now, for everybody, it's different. So I tend to be very visual, and I see all kinds of flowers and bubbles and colors and all sorts of fun stuff. And other people don't, and that's okay too. It's just part of, just like we all have different learning styles, we all have different energetic um, styles.
Sensory.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and so I'm very visual. I see all kinds of things, and sometimes that's actually hard for me because I don't always know what it means, and it may be pretty but not actually be a good thing, or vice versa. And sometimes it takes a lot more research. Um, but sometimes in meditative states, it feels more helpful to have that along with you for the ride. So everybody's different. Sometimes people feel it, like you said, you felt it. Yeah.
And so in your one-on-one work with clients, in your energy work, so like you would then be able to take what, either if we were doing that exercise together or something, doing one-on-one, and you'd be able to then take what you saw for me and for you, and take what I felt and saw and whatever, and then be able to interpret that into more specific information, right?
Yep.
Is that how that works?
Yep. So typically, this is not what I do in my one-on-one work.
Oh,
It,
really?
it can be part of it. So, there's definitely people that want to learn how to do these processes for themselves, and I'm happy to teach that. But typically, for my one-on-one work, I just do the reading. There's no me involved. There's no, group field involved. It's just me reading you,
Mhm.
and keeping track of whatever I see and hear and feel, and decide that realize that I suddenly know. And, those are all different clair abilities, clairvoyant, clairsentient, all those. So I have a lot of those. And so through that one-on-one work, I gather all that information, and I write it all down, and I analyze it all. And I try to give you both the raw data of this is exactly what I saw, and then my interpretation of it as well. And usually my interpretation is accurate. But I always tell people, if for some reason the interpretation is not accurate, the information should still be valid, and you create your own interpretation of that. But yeah, most of it is more one-on-one, and it's just about you. So there is no my bubble. There is no, you know, me sharing any of my stuff with you. I usually do a really good job of not blocking that, but just setting it aside, compartmentalizing that I become a channel for you and your energy and your higher self to speak through me to you. And then the interpretation part comes afterwards, when we're no longer working together in that meditative space, but it's just a separate piece of the work. Yeah.
Cool.
But we can always do these sorts of things too, because
Yeah.
these are fun too.
Really, really good medicine.
Yeah. Any other questions or insights or feelings or?
So I took some notes. There was another thing that popped up. I like the crown, when the roots are coming out of the top of my head. I want to go to like a floral shop and like get ribbon and some sparkly stuff and make a flower, ivy, twigs and berries type earthy crown with with ribbon. Really pretty.
Sounds fun.
I have it all visioned in my head. I need a crown with a little bit of tiara. It's
We do. We all need one of those, right?
rise, sister, rise.
Yeah, cool.
Into our crowns.
Yeah.
That will save the world. We should have a crown challenge. A make your own crown and wear it in your own power challenge.
That sounds fun.
That was amazing.
You were local, we would have that event.
We could do it, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just do one here and you do one there, and we'll Facebook Live it.
That works. Yeah.
Anywho. All right, I'm about to lose my battery, so
okay.
Thank you so much. That was amazing, amazing, amazing. I'm going to go take a nap and let it all stew and simmer some more.
All right, sounds good. We'll get some rest. I hope you feel better.
Thank you. I already do. Now that I can open my thalamus and let that in and not worry about my heart. It's brilliant.
Yeah, cool.
All right,
awesome.
Take care.
Yeah, good to see you. Bye.
Good to see you.
Right. And so, That was about it. That was about all I had. So before we close, one thing I do want to do is just connect all of us. It's great to be connected in spirit. But as we go about our day, I do want to make sure that we are all disconnected from one another so that we are no longer interfering with each other's energies without one another's permission. So at this moment, dearest guides, angels, spirits, please disconnect us from one another so that we may go about our day unhindered by the actions of others. Help us to know that we can call upon each other anytime that we need the support of one another. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. It was so nice to share this time with you, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Talk to you soon. Bye.